We are recording. Alright, hello guys. Welcome to Major's Garage. This is Suellio Almeida. I'm the crew chief for the Formula 3, Formula 3.5, and the new Mercedes Formula 1. And today we're gonna see my lap here at Phillip Island with the Formula 3.5. Lap time was a 1:16.151. And let's first watch the entire lap before I start talking about the corners. So let's go for it. Alright, so that is the lap. Now, going back to it, so we can start talking about what I think, what I look for. Well, first of all, you already see that I have kind of a weird line here, right? Like, why am I staying on the middle of the track here? Well, basically, I was searching for a safe spot to be on the track. And if you go to the left, there are some places, some bumps there that slow down the car just a tiny bit. So I was searching for the best place, and middle of the track, a little bit more to the right, like, but very close to the middle is where I find the most top speed. It's this is about 0.04, 0.05 top speed difference, so it is actually considerable amount of lap times. Considerable amount of time, and here you see that we don't actually need to be all the way to the left to do this corner. So I get the benefit of carrying a little bit more speed. I go through a shorter distance here, and we can just do this flat out. No big deal, no problem, no screw up. Now we want to be very, very close and very late on the right here. As you can see, I'm turning in very late, and I'm really bringing the car very slowly all the way until around the second Marshall post. So if you see this in the cockpit view, we turn in, there's this first one, then the second one is coming, the second one is coming, the second one is coming. That's more or less a little bit before the second Marshall post. That's where I'm getting back on power, and that's where I'm touching the curb. So I'm treating this as a single apex corner, basically. I know some cars you can treat it as a double apex, but as you can see here, look at how I'm going from the outside completely here, and then turning in, boom, apex, and then I just go for the exit. Now let's see how I do with the braking. It's a very long trail braking. I brake around 25%, 30%, and then it's going down slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly. Here I'm basically coasting for like I don't know, a quarter of a second before I get back on power. And then get back on power. Really, you have to trust the car on the exit, because it's gonna be rotating a lot, and because of the line, the down 4C line this car has, you're actually gonna be touching the white line and maybe even the dirt. I don't recommend, honestly, touching the dirt here on the exit before you get on the curb. Actually, you can touch the dirt at the very, very end of it, where you're touching the dirt for just a little bit of time before you get on the curb. But if you touch the dirt here a little bit earlier than that, there's a big chance you're gonna spin, just because you're still trying to survive the corner. You're still trying to turn to the left. As soon as you do that, there's a big chance you're gonna touch the rear tire on the dirt, and the spin is very, very quick, so we don't have a chance to save it. Well, sometimes we do, but I do not recommend using the dirt that early. Snapbean, Lil, Dior, thank you for following. Welcome, guys. We are doing the tutorial at this moment. Now, going for the hairpin, you have to really trust the car. This car stops, like, a lot. So, as you can see, my maximum pressure here. It's even after the... Here, even after the 100 mark. So, I'm using the 100 as a reference. And then we have to really wait for a long time before we go to second gear. We turn in on second gear, but then mid corner we're gonna go back to first. Now, as soon as the gear kicks in, actually. Otherwise, I would be on first gear even earlier than that. So we can get the beautiful engine braking that makes the car rotate. At this point, we should be braking almost nothing. As you can see, even with this braking here, we are almost locking. We are actually micro-locking the fronts with, look at that, like 5% brakes. That's already enough to create the locking on the inside. That means we can rotate with a 1% braking, but what's going to cause the rotation here is the first gear. You have to use first gear to rotate the car here. So, on exit, be careful. First gear has like lots of torque. As soon as you upshift to second, then you can actually be a lot more aggressive on the power. So super careful in first gear. As soon as you upshift to second, your throttle can go up very quickly. You're still gonna have a tiny bit of wheel spin here, so just make sure you go straight as possible on second gear. If you try to turn a little bit to the right here on power on second gear, there's a big chance you're gonna have some wheel spin and lose lots of time, or maybe even spin. So that's why I'm using that much. Just using all of the track possible so I can go straight on the exit there. Then here, I'm starting to brake at the very end of the curb here, and I'm again going for a very, very, very late contact with the curb. As you can see, very late, where I'm actually touching the curb. So look at how long the corner is. And then I'm single apexing, but late apexing here. Then back on power as the car is on the inside, and then very careful. On the way up, there's a little bit of grip around here. It feels like grippy, but then around here, you're starting to fall just a little bit. So there's a bigger chance on spinning on the exit here, like a very exit. Around here, that's where you generally spin. So be careful with that. Then flat out, flat out, flat out. Here we have two options. We could go to sixth, but I prefer to stay on fifth gear just because we don't want to downshift again to fifth and create some micro stress on the tire. So I just stay on fifth, and then turning on fifth, flat out, going towards the inside. As soon as you feel that the car is starting to get a little bit like loose, then you start lifting. So as you can see, I'm lifting the throttle 75%. Then I wait, and then I feel a little bit more, and then okay, it's now here it starts to slide a lot, so it's 50% throttle, but then I still want to kind of maintain the balance. Don't lift too much because you're gonna understeer if you do that. So you want to really rotate the car by modulating and managing the throttle. Then you want to bring the car back here, and here we have kind of two braking zones. The first before the jump, and the other one after the jump ends. So I'm braking here, but now I'm kind of waiting because the car is falling. And then here we can kind of brake a little bit more. You see my braking, it feels steady, because what's making my braking linear here, it feels like I'm braking on a GT car, is that I am losing grip on the beginning of the brakes, but there's a downforce to compensate. And here, at this point, I have more grip mechanically, but there's no downforce anymore. I mean, there's a lot less downforce, so I need to brake a little bit less. In the end, I get this very linear braking that you guys can find in my telemetry that's going to be available in the data pack. Then, second gear here very early, and then first as soon as you can. At this point here, my micro mistake I had, you see, again, 1%, basically 1% braking here. At this point, 5% braking, and that's enough for me to lock up the fronts. It's very, very common to lock up the fronts here. Just need to make sure that you don't overdo it, because this corner, you want to stay at least on the middle of the track. As you can see here, we have a little crack. We can represent the middle of the track with this little crack. We want to kind of have the car here so we can position the exit a lot better. And here we go. Very, 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 very careful on the exit. Guys, this is about heat management here. You cannot have wheel spin on the exit. If you have any tiny wheel spin here on the exit of the right-hander, then on the left-hander, you're gonna have 50-60% more chance of spinning, because you're gonna cook your rears before that. So here, very, very patient until we feel the extra speed, the extra downforce, we feel safe, and then we push the car forward and forward. And then here, just flat out, easy, flat out, nothing to worry about. And then you see that I'm coming back to that weird line just because I'm avoiding the bottoming out. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Have a good practice, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.